Love is in the air, everywhere you look around. And that is all the singing you are going to hear from me. Today's topic is on something very special. What's this? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Partner visas. Welcome back, guys. Partner visas, partner visas, partner visas, a very important topic, which is a very expensive visa and becoming very popular these days. There's so many different types you can do. There's a subclass 820, a subclass 801, a 300, a 309, a 100, a 461. What are the differences between them? Well, let's break down the main differences between them and bust some myths on questions such as, do you need to be married? Do you need to live together? How long does it take to get to PR? Can you do it as a same-sex couple? Let's break it right down, starting with the 820-801. Now, when we talk about two different subclasses for a visa, why do we do that? When you apply for a partner visa, you're generally applying for two visas at once, and that's because there's a temporary aspect to it and then a permanent aspect to it. And the reason why that is because immigration wants to know that you are in a genuine relationship with one another. It's very rare that the department will grant a permanent residency for a partner visa straight up. They will initially grant a temporary visa and then reassess after a few years to see, are you still in a genuine relationship with one another? So, what are the two-step visas when it comes to partner visas? We've got the 820-801, we've got the 309-100, we've got the 300. What are really the differences? Well, let's start with the 820-801. That is an onshore partner visa. The 820 is the temporary aspect, the 801 is the permanent aspect. Now, most partner visas have 4 criteria that you need to adhere to. Number 1 is finances. It wants to know that you have a shared financial commitment. Number 2, nature of the household. Do you live together? If not, why? And you don't necessarily need to live together. First myth busted. Number 3, they also look at the social aspects of the relationship. And number 4, the nature of the commitment of the relationship. So now let's break this down into those 4 sections. Number 1, finances. A lot of people think you have to have a joint bank account and all that kind of rubbish. That is not necessarily the case. You can have evidence of having joint finances without having a joint bank account, such as money transfers to one another, supporting each other in different financial ways. Point number 2, nature of the household. Do you really need to live together? If you are married, yes. If you are not married, maybe not. Now, why is that? In 2015, there was some case law passed that meant de facto relations don't necessarily need to live together if there are reasons why. Now, there's lots of reasons why people don't live together. Religious, cultural, plus other factors, geographically challenged if you're living in different states or different countries. As long as you show that there's a reason why, your application can still get through. So that's the first myth that I'm busting there. Number 3, there's another point we want to talk about, and it is the social aspects of a relationship. This is very, very important because the department want to know that you are not in a closet relationship that is a kind of secret lovers. It wants to know that this is a true and genuine relationship. And you demonstrate this by showing things like photo albums, you going out in public together, status on social media, statements from you, statements from friends and relatives that attest to the fact that you are in a genuine relationship. And fourthly, the final aspect is your commitment, your nature of commitment to one another. Are you engaged? Are you married? Do you have children? Are you pregnant? Do you have any holidays booked to go overseas? Have you purchased anything together? Have you got a mortgage? Are you putting down a deposit for a house? Whatever it may be, a holiday booked in the future. What is your nature of commitment to one another? So these 4 aspects are the primary criteria that make up a partner visa. Now, the 820-801 is the onshore version. The advantage of that is once you lodge the application, you get a bridging visa, which lets you stay here with nil conditions on it, meaning full-time work rights. In addition to that, you are eligible for Medicare once you apply. You don't need the visa granted yet, which is great. Offshore applications. What are they? Well, first of all, you've got the 309-100, which is pretty much identical to the 828-01, but you lodge from offshore. Then we have what's called a prospective marriage visa, which is a subclass 300. Now, what is that? As the name suggests, you are intending to marry one another. Now, the prospective marriage visa is a great type of visa because you don't need too much evidence. The legislation states that you must have met on at least one occasion in person. So if you're internet lovers, you've got to meet up at least once to be eligible for this, plus meet the other criteria. Apart from these partner visas, you then also have a subclass 461, which is if you are an applicant and you are in a committed relationship with a New Zealand citizen. That is another type of visa you can get. It's not a permanent visa, but it is a visa for 5 years and far, far cheaper than a normal partner visa where your sponsor must be a permanent resident of Australia or a citizen. Now, there's other criteria that must be met, such as health, such as character for you, and also character for your sponsor. And there's also certain bars that may stop someone from sponsoring you or you being sponsored, such as if your sponsor has sponsored someone before or if you've even been sponsored before and it didn't work out. But there's ways to get around that, and there's exclusion periods that you can also claim exemptions towards. So in a nutshell, partner visas are wonderful visas that a lot of people are eligible for, even if they don't think so, because they might say, I'm not married. Should I marry for the sake of the visa? Absolutely not. Only marry if you want to marry and you are ready to marry. The amount of times I consult with people and they say, oh, I met with somebody else and they said I should marry, so I'm eligible for this visa. That is crap. I never, ever, ever advise people to marry for the sake of a visa. If you do, I guarantee your marriage probably will not work out. Australia already has a high enough divorce rate. You don't want to add to that tally. De factos can perfectly enter into a partner visa without even having 12 months of evidence. That's right, provided your relationship is registered with births, deaths and marriages. Now, there's certain states and territories where you can do that, so you need to check where you reside to see if you're eligible for that. But as you can see, partner visas may not seem as difficult as you think, as long as you know the criteria and how it works. So I'm going to leave you with those thoughts for now, but partner visas are definitely something you should look into if you are in a committed and genuine relationship to the exclusion of others. So if you're in an open relationship, you like going to swingers parties like some of my clients who wanted to look at a partner visa, it's not going to work. You've got to be genuine, continuing to the exclusion of others. So for those of you who have already lodged a partner visa and may have had it granted or are waiting for it to be granted, let us know how it went in the comments below. Or those of you who haven't done a partner visa and are a bit hesitant and have reservations about it, tell us why. Write in the comments below and we can hopefully assist you with that. We'll see you soon.